Uh, Thank you, Faizan. Thank you, Sakshi, for the warm welcome and to kicking off the session. I'm very glad to be here at the second Pune FOSS. I'm less nervous than last year, more, and I hope I'll try to speak more about what we do, and probably you'll have some of the points which Faizan mentioned in the what you will have by the EOD end of the day. So I'm going to talk about FOSS United, how we are strengthening the FOSS ecosystem in India, FOSS community in India. But before we move ahead, okay, so I'll give you a brief of myself. I work for FOSS United since 2020 and building community since I was in college, second year. I tried setting up a club in my college. I see that there was nothing except Art Fest. I felt, I am here in technical college. There has to be some technical stuff going on, people tinkering, learning, which is quite an issue in most of the colleges in India. Because the engineering college in India are very recent trend. There used to be very college like College of Engineering Pune, IITs, NITs used to be the only college until a point. But then there was a boom. There were so many engineering colleges being established, and the culture didn't come. For example, we have a in College of Engineering Pune there is a FOSS user group, free software user group. So yeah, I thought I'll try to build a community in my campus. So it has been almost 6-7 years journey. So yeah, I was talking about strengthening FOSS community in India, and my question to myself is, why do we even need a FOSS community? Anybody have any answer? Not from the organizers. This is just for the participants. Any answer? I mean, it could be wondering, and you might have just slight idea. You could just stand and speak. Yeah, please.
To foster open source culture among the developers and students and those who want to develop something, they innovate with products.
Yeah, but I think innovate with products comes when you know how to write a code right. So even there's a lot of steps behind it. I mean, you are right. The answer is right. I was trying to. Okay, you had some answer. Maybe I'll.
Yeah, so my answer is that if few millions can make Git and Linux and such wonderful open source softwares, then what 1.4 billion can do? So it's just a need to change the mindset of the developers and to channelize all this energy towards, let's foster this idea of open source and everything.
Yeah, correct. So, I mean, imagine our daily life and the amount of time we spend on softwares, right? And I mean, at least in Bangalore, I see for every single service, there is an app for that. You don't have to step out of your home or even your bedroom. I mean your room. Sorry. I mean, if you book an spa on our company, they'll come in your room to give you a spa. So my point is that our life is now completely overtaken by softwares. I mean, the decision making, we use ChatGPT, I use ChatGPT. I don't have to learn every single grammars to write a very beautiful email to somebody to invite to speak at Pune FOSS, right? It's helping. I mean, I'm not saying that we should not, I do not learn grammar, but I have my upbringing or the school I attended was not great where I learned the best grammar. If I start learning grammar today, I'll be jobless, right? So I don't want to do that. I want to earn some money. So the need of FOSS community in India is because there are a lot of software demands in India by the people, individuals outside the India, by the companies, by the government, by academia. So yeah, and the reason is because it's a proven way to build sustainable IT ecosystem. When I say proven way, currently all of our software, we do not store data. Let's say we use Swiggy. And if you go and see the order history, is it saved in your mobile phone? No, right? Anybody store the data, Swiggy data in their own device? No, right? I mean, there is no option. Uh, so, and all the internet runs on cloud, right? And we had an answer that Linux is built by, I think I don't know the exact number of contributors, but there are thousands of people who have worked on it. And if and okay, so when I said that most of our life, our activities on cloud, and cloud is powered by Linux, which is built by thousands of software developer. So why not other aspect of our daily life too? Why just cloud services? Why not the kind of software we use, like the OS? Most of us who are in college, join colleges, start using Windows by default, not because it's your fault, but it's what that's what the laptop comes bundled up, right? So when I joined college, the first lab, I was in Kerala, studying in Kerala, Cochin University, and I was trying to do some Windows shortcut to close my system, and I failed. And because I never knew the concept of having multiple options to use another OS operating system. For me, Windows is the software. Sorry. So I was talking about if Linux is saving, and to come back to the Swiggy example, Swiggy use all these servers for free without paying these 1,000 developers who has spent their 2-3 decades working on these. So that's the proven model that a company who use open source FOSS, or the users we use, a lot of people use here Linux. They don't pay to the Linux user, right? So that's a proven way, and we end up learning things without paying to people. For example, the programming languages. Again, to just go in deeper about what do I mean by IT ecosystem, when I say it is helping us in building a proven, it's a proven way to build a sustainable IT ecosystem. By IT ecosystem, I mean everybody, and this mostly covers all of us. Most of us are students here. A lot of people are here who are part of companies, government, academia, because they all use software in their daily life or build software. And I'm trying to give context. So all of these talks, I try to answer the questions to myself rather than answering to the people. I mean, which sometimes helps to the listeners as well. So when I say we need a FOSS community, I mean that there is a need of open source, enough open source options, open source software options, so that when either of us, either companies, students, government, academia, want to build softwares, which is the de facto way to start any programs. If you see a lot of initiative coming from government, for example, UPI, they use open source. That's why there is a need of open source software, so that all of these people who are a part of IT ecosystem, not just IT, daily life, the humans, they won't be paying much, because let's say if government use a proprietary software, they end up paying billions to the proprietary, let's say Microsoft. If a government use all the proprietary tools to build the stacks, let's say UPI or Aadhaar or FASTag, if they pay a lot of amount to the vendor, actually the money comes on our head to pay back to the government so that they can sustain. So yeah, we need a ecosystem. We need to build more open source software, and that's why we need a community of people who understand this and learn, use, contribute. Again, some successful programs to build this community of open source developers, open source users. We all know Google Summer of Code, right? Anyone who hasn't heard of it? I didn't heard it until I was in third year. That's why I'm just curious. Anybody who haven't heard of Google Summer of Code? Perfect. I mean, I think we are at quite fast pace. Anybody have heard of the term or this program called Open Source Program Office? Anybody? Okay. So we have, what do you call it? Reverse the coin, right? Switch the coin. So this program is quite popular in Europe, not Europe, but in the West. I mean US and Europe, which means we're talking to somebody at SAP. Any of you knows SAP? Yeah. Is it proprietary or FOSS? Anybody thinks it's a FOSS? Okay. So yeah, SAP is a proprietary tool which charges heavily to all of the customers, but at the same time they use open source because it helps them to build their IT, the whole platform system very cheap. So even though they are a proprietary software, even though they build proprietary software, they have a program where they go and support back to the open source. And this program exists since, I think, at least 10 years. So we were having a chat with the SAP the open source program office of SAP. So this program office this is part of all these companies in US and Europe, mostly Europe. And what they do, they give back to the open source projects, or they go and talk about how they use open source so that others can get inspired and start using the way they use. They fund the projects. So we are talking to SAP, and they're interested in partnering with us. So the idea is all the companies have this program, certain programs where they give back to the community. In India, it's not a culture yet. That's what we're trying to build at FOSS United. UPI. This is a government project I just mentioned. They use. We don't pay any single penny to use UPI service, right? And how come? It's not like government do not pay. Government do not have the server bills for the UPI, but it's not as heavy as if they were using any proprietary tools or a database. So the government can sustain billions of transactions every year on UPI because they use open source. They believe that this is the way to have a sustainable system. Okay, so one more example, FOSSI. This is by IIT Bombay, and we also partnered them last year. Even we're talking to them this year for the Mumbai FOSS 2.0 conference, and they have a program, FOSSI, where they educate people, where they train people from the tier 2, tier 3 remote areas, train them with the latest technology. It could be, and all through the FOSS tools like Krita or all the. Have you heard Krita? Anybody? Nice. So I'm not talking to you. So sorry. I'll come back. So FOSSI train people in the remote areas with these open source tools so that they can learn without paying somebody and have a job. If they can acquire certain skills which is high in demand. So these are certain programs which promote the idea of building FOSS, or they use FOSS to build their systems to save money or to give back to the community through programs like Open Source Program Office, OSPO. Okay, so this was about a very top level view. I didn't discuss about every hour. So to give you, all of you must have heard about or must be listening about this company become $1 billion valued, right? Until last year at least, right? Because they raised this much, 10 million, 50 million funds, and then they acquired this many companies. There are a lot of noise going around currently that this particular company is getting, going through certain things. So I'm going to talk about what is the current state of FOSS in India, FOSS community in India, how companies are, what exactly happens, or what has been happening since the, let's say last 20 years or since 2000. I think most of you must have heard of the, for example, Python user groups, or at least the conferences which happens in Pune, like GopherConf, RubyConf, right? Anybody heard of these conferences? Ruby, Gopher? Yeah. So these events happens. So there are monthly events of Python user group. Let's say happens in Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, and these are specific to one tool, one programming language. There are JavaScript, JS lovers. Uh, there are a lot of other programming or frameworks like React. They have these monthly meetup. That's what happens, and these all are working in silos. Let's say we are 4 people of who wants to organize. Who are interested in React will go together. We'll learn about it. But there are no connection where I'm see it's growing. I mean, for example, Faizan itself is part of multiple tech user groups in Pune. But what happens, they focused on one certain topics, but not the whole ecosystem. That's what we are trying to do at FOSS United. And there are yearly conferences like GopherConf, RubyConf, or things like there was last year this Postgres conf happened in Bangalore. But these are very irregular, I'll say, or not active India-wide. I mean, there will be a couple of cities who will be doing the the Python meetups, but there's no way where there is no, I mean, we don't see this happening in all the cities continuously where they are connected with each other. So there are some old communities like Free Software user group. I think so. This is for Karnataka and some other state. FSMI, I guess, and there is FSCI, Free Software Community of India, SMC. This is also in Kerala. DG Plug, Durgapur, Linux user group. It's in West Bengal. So these are old community, and they build. They do engagement very irregularly, or they're not active. Okay, I think I have some content from the notepad. Oops. Okay. Fine, chalega. Thank you. Right. So I was talking about the old groups like Free Software Community of India, FSCI, SMC. So these were quite active. Let's say in early 2000, and what happened? They all disappeared or became inactive because there were no full-time member, or there was no incentive for people to keep continuing and volunteering for these organizations. So there are the other kind of community which exists in India is the college specific. For example, there is one in Amrita. There is one Amrita FOSS in Kerala. There is I don't know if it's right, but it's the College of Engineering Free Software User Group. There is open source developers community Noida. It's quite old, quite active. There is NIT Calicut FOSS cell. They do FOSS meet every year. These are some old college clubs which are in India. From the academia, there are certain initiatives like NPTEL. All of us at least heard of it. So I mean, it's a open knowledge sharing program. And when I say FOSS community, it doesn't have to have the software or the code. It's about knowledge sharing, which is pretty much linked with software, hardware, and everything which is around learning and sharing. So there is NR Cell by IIM Bangalore. They fund open source projects. At least they used to. Now it has become more on the entrepreneurial driven. I mean, they fund entrepreneurs to with the grants for certain period. And some government initiative. It's not much active in India anymore, but this is called IT at School by Kerala government. So I give you the example. When I was in college, I tried to use some Windows shortcut on Linux. That is because a decade back, the Kerala government threw out all the Windows and replaced by Linux. So currently we see that all the schools, all the colleges in India, in Kerala use open source or Linux, and they save. There was some some data that they have saved around 200 crore rupees in certain years. So I'll talk about how we are doing it, and we are still very young. I mean, even though we are 4 years, which is a lot from the startup's founder mindset, but we are doing a little stuff, and we have just started scaling. And we were 1 people full time until last year June. Now we are 12 people. So we are trying to scale whatever we have learned in the first few years, and with hiring more right people to the team. So events like Pune FOSS, we do regular events in multiple cities. We are scaling slowly, and even in Pune, we haven't seen much events in the last 1 year, but we have some announcement from Faizan at the end. But the idea is to have more regular events in all the cities, have more engagements, people network, learn from others. We also work with governments to make sure that they have certain laws, policy where they only acquire, uses open source. Even though I give the example of UPI, but there are a lot of departments, a lot of ministry who still prefer or use proprietary. We invite partners to, we give grants to the people who are building open source. If you are looking for funds, reach out to us. We will happy to have a discussion. The application will open after 1st April. It's currently on pause. We invite industry folks, the companies, to come and sponsor, fund us so that we sustain ourselves, and also they give back to the community through FOSS United. We collab with academia, IITs, NITs to discuss about it, to have more discussions, networking, and probably some more tangible outcome. But again, like I said, it's a very long term goal, and this all takes time. I'll quickly wrap this up by, there's a couple of more slides after this. So since 2020, we have almost 11K participants. We have funded 2 crore to the grants, to the FOSS projects. If you are again building one, let us know. We have almost, again, these data are quite old. Till 31st October, we have sponsored or supported 15 plus projects. Again, these are not equity free. We just give it on the trust basis that you will work on it. And almost 30 or 30 plus companies have helped us to run this for the last 4 years. For the students, we have a lot more programs coming. So far, whatever we have done, it's mostly for the professionals. And in the last 1 year, we've started a few things like FOSS Club, and we are currently in 12 colleges. So yeah, for the upcoming programs, these are mostly focused on students community. Springboard is one where we will help, give internships to the students. These are again, we haven't announced it anywhere. We'll give more details soon through the newsletter. We have Season of Commits, similar to Google Summer of Code. We'll partner with FOSS projects in India, and we'll give stipend-based 3 months, 6 month long program. And again, if you are part of any college and looking to establish a club, we will have the application open in a couple of months. Not yet, it's not open yet. But yeah, that's the goal for this coming 6 months to 1 year. That's it. If you think you want to know more about us, join us on Telegram. We have forum. Yeah, join our newsletter. That's it. You can find me with at WISHARYA, Visharya on Twitter, or .com is my domain. Thank you.